Mark, so let's say you did the mold inspection at the home and you found mold that needs to be remediated.
Yeah.
Now the customer is wondering how much does an average, a typical mold remediation job cost?
It's a great question. So you're right. You will never get work from us until we do that kind of an inspection, because we really want to ensure the health and safety of you and the occupants in the house. But really, every mold job is going to have a very simple, similar template.
Okay.
Number one, we want to have containment.
What does it mean?
So containment basically is saying this: when we're going to be removing drywall or whatever it is we're going to
disturbing materials.
Yeah, we don't want that going to areas that are not contaminated. So let's say, hypothetically, let's use an example. Let's say we're treating an area in your basement around 300 square feet.
Okay.
So you're going to have to imagine you're going to be walking in, and don't laugh at this, it's going to be kind of like a crime scene.
Right.
You're going to have a zipper door coming in, you're going to have tension poles up against the ceiling, and really it's designed to create a controlled environment where we can confidently remove the mold, which leads me to my next conversation, which is how do we treat it? So in our business, we basically use what's called a mold severity index. This helps us determine what do you do in this corner? What do you do in this quadrant? Or what do you do here, here, and here? Yep. So for instance, when you see drywall that's just severely impacted, discolored, ugly, you remove it.
You see those big black spots, and it goes all the way through the drywall.
Yeah, because there's this misconception that you can kill mold. You can't really kill mold. The industry standard says, hey, you remove it.
So like when companies say just put bleach on it and then kills and paint it.
Not gonna fly, no.
The air quality is still gonna remain the same. The mold spores are still in the air.
Exactly, and so when you say mold spores in the air, I wanted to say a couple other things that go into it. So, number one, before we do any work, our guys they're all gonna have PPE. So again, we wanna protect you as well as our workers as well.
Correct.
But the other two big things is, assuming we've removed, let's say that impacted drywall, a lot of times behind that drywall, you might have things like studs,
insulation.
base plates, insulation. So things like insulation, we got to remove, unfortunately.
Because it's porous?
Exactly. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, if we find microbial growth on like wood, we actually have a beautiful method called the react extract. It's basically, we have a chemical solution that we place on the material, and it acts as almost like a lifting agent.
Okay.
So it takes that mold, we want to make sure that not just the staining is removed, but the actual roots that the mold kind of embeds in that wood. Now the big one here is this. Naturally we can treat things, we can do the correct protocol, but you're still going to have things airborne. So this is where we use our high-powered negative air pressure machines, or negative. So what they're designed to do is two things. Not only do they want to capture what's inside the chamber, they also want to duct things outside your windows, outside your home. So imagine you have a big funnel that's going from a machine, and it's being ducted outside of a window. Because whatever those filters don't capture, we want to make sure they're outside. Okay. Now once that's complete, we are going to be doing what's called HEPA vacuuming. So very similar to that machine, it's just our guys are physically going to be going to every square inch. Yeah. Now, every mold job is also going to include an air duct cleaning, which is very important.
With mold jobs?
Every mold job, believe it or not, so mold a lot of times does, that it becomes airborne. So there's oftentimes with the amount of just airflow that goes through that vents, sometimes those things get picked up and it travels throughout the house. So we want to make sure, really the next step is after that is to do what's called post-remediation verification. So the reason why some people ask me, well, Mark, why do I have to clean air ducts? It sounds like you're trying to steal my money. And by no means are we trying to do that. We want to basically ensure that, hey, when we completed our service, we can give you documentation and proof that, hey, what we did is effective.
It's done correctly.
It's done correctly, yep.
The area has been tested, retested, and it's all clear.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so when we're talking about this, because a lot of times, you and I know, unfortunately, that mold is not regulated industry yet in Ohio. And there are companies out there that will just come in, they see visual mold stain in the basement, and they'll just spray some magic chemical and take care of that microbial growth. But really what they did is they spread those mold spores throughout the house. So we contained the area, we made sure there is, whatever is airborne is caught by our air scrubbers. We HEPA vacuum every square inch in that room. And then on top of that, we do post-remediation verification or evaluation to ensure that what we did is done the right way, and we don't pass a job if it's not done the right way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Now, you asked me a question earlier that I forgot to answer. So, in terms of cost, it really depends on let's just use our example for our 300 square foot basement or area we're treating. So, depending on the severity of each area that we're going to be treating, it's as little as $3,600 up to $4,800. Really depends on what the severity is.
How much demolition needs to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, one other thing about demolition that I wanted you to know. So, when we do these kinds of jobs and there is controlled demolition, we want to ensure nothing is spread. So there is actually going to be containment chambers, basically areas where guys can come in, take off their PPE, come out. Also, you're never going to see our guys walking through with a piece of drywall through your house. We always bag it, gooseneck it, tie it up, and then carry it out. So there's a lot that goes into it, but the value that you get from them, it's on parts. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
And I know for the customers that are saying, well, I never want to deal with this mold issue again. I know that we also do some preventative things as far as the mold coating that comes with a 10-year warranty. So as long as the surfaces are covered by this mold coating, mold is not going to grow on them, and it breathes where it lets the moisture through but not in. And also if there's a high humidity level in the house, we utilize really good dehumidifiers.
Correct. Yeah, and make no mistake, Zach, at the end of the day, the health and safety of the occupants is our primary goal. We want to make sure they align with us, and all these different steps, it may sound like a lot, but when it comes down to it, it's the best way to get an effective project done. Back to what we call a condition 1, where it's visibly clean, we can test the air and say, hey look, these are normal levels, and at that point, if the homeowner needs help with reconstruction, we can also guide them through that as well. But that's what it looks, that's what it takes.
So $13 to $16 per square foot of the affected area.
Correct.
And that includes air duct cleaning, this whole process for mold remediation, as well as post-remediation verification. Now, last question. Let's say during post-remediation verification or evaluation, you don't pass the inspection. Does the customer have to pay now extra for more cleanup to happen?
Absolutely not. No. So the reason behind this, if we're going to invest our time and our efforts into the best industry practices, the best tools, the best equipment, we're protecting our guys. There's no reason we shouldn't pass these tests. And I'll tell you this, Zach, I've been here for about 2 years and 6 months. That might not sound like a lot, but I did the math. It was like 1,193 houses, which has probably been more since then.
Wow.
But listen, I've been here for that long. I've probably had to redo a house maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times. Again, there's other inspectors such as myself, but
out of like almost 1,200 homes, only 3 or 4 houses where you had to get our guys back.
Well, let me rephrase that. I've been to 1,200 houses. We might not necessarily treated 1,200 houses, but of the houses that we did treat, I've only had to go back to maybe 2-3 houses, like I mentioned. So we stand by our work, and we have the best guys there. They love their job. They're good. I feel confident when I send them in. We're leaving there with a happy Mark, happy customer, happy company. Everybody wins.
Thank you.
You got it.